Much.
So you can forgive Mazino if he misses his lines, but he's going to take us some motivation this Monday morning.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mike. Now it's time for some Monday motivation with renowned leadership development strategist Kemi Ogunkoya. And today she will be talking about something I find interesting, which is preparing the younger generation for leadership. Welcome to the show, Kemi. Hi, how are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes. You're welcome here on Wake Up Nigeria. Always a pleasure. So, we're talking the younger generation now and how we can prepare them. Now, since this is our motivation platform, let me first of all ask how motivated our younger generation are in the first place.
Well, all right. So I think that's a very interesting question, right? And I think it will pretty much come down to what their definition of what the future really holds for them. So you see that it seems like there are a lot of interest here and there. Of course, we know that the Big Brother just completed, the Big Brother Nigeria just concluded yesterday. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how, we focus on the main and most important issues of life. But then I would say that, if we talk about how motivated young people are at this time, it would be pretty much a generic response. But then I would say that, for us to have a young people, a young nation, people who are motivated and, really focused on leadership, then we have to be able to give them, things that would interest them pretty much to be focused on that area of growth. So young people really interested in leadership conversations. I would say relatively yes, but then it would depend on the environment that we have given them, the hope about the future in different areas of life, be it on the national scene, be it in their homes, be it also in the working environment.
And how interested young people are when it comes to that, especially when you talk about politics. But if you remember from yesterday, and we had this discussion this morning on the show, even about the level of interest that people had on the just concluded reality show from yesterday, and if that can be transferred over to the interest that they have for leadership, which seems very absent this day and age. You talked about just now how to make it interesting for them. But how interesting can leadership ever become? How can you make leadership interesting for the younger generation?
Okay, so I always say this, right? If we have a promise of a better future, then we will be interested, really. So, looking at the tapestry of our country, for example, where it seems like we're having issues with infrastructure, for example, electricity, right? And people are wondering, okay, we've been told we're going to be the leaders of tomorrow. We've been hearing this for so long. Is there ever going to be a time when truly we can get to step into that position of leadership? So I think it's quite a couple of things. But then if we get people to that point where they believe that if they invest in the right things, and they give it the opportunity for growth, they will be interested in conversations that would definitely be beyond entertainment.
And whose
I say
responsibility
that
is
for a
that?
lot of people, entertainment is an escape is an escape from dealing with the real issue. So if I know that, for example, I'm going home, there's not going to be light, what else can I do to buy away the time for, to be happy? So it seems like a lot of people are out there because they don't have any other hope pretty much into the future. So rather than going to wallow in self-pity and pain, what can ease my pain in the interim? So I think that's why there's a lot of focus on, the short-term adrenaline, the short-term rush, and it kind of pretty much distracts people from what they ought to be focusing on. When there's a promise of hope, if there's a promise of a better future, I'm sure that there will definitely, be a shift in attention, and people will be able to, especially the younger ones, will be able to focus on what really matters to them.
Okay, so this shift in attention, whose responsibility is it to make that shift happen for the younger generation? Is it people in governance, or is it you and I right now?
Yeah, so the responsibility lies with each and every one of us, right? I talk about leadership being, consistent across every level of our lives. So be it in the home abroad, be it in the workplace, be it also in nations. And we have to start raising individuals who see themselves as leaders, who are not sold up to that leader of tomorrow, who see themselves as leaders of today,
Yep.
who must now take on the duty and the responsibility of rising up to leadership wherever they are. Okay, so which means that as a young person in the workplace, how are you showing up? Because how you're showing up would one determine the trajectory of your life, would also determine how well the organization also grows. So it would, it has to go way beyond this person is responsible to lead to all of us becoming the change that we want to see across every area of life. So as a parent, how well are you parenting? Because you need to understand that when you're not parenting right, you are also becoming the problem of a nation. When you're not raising children who are role models, functioning effectively in the society, then you are also becoming a part of the problem. If you're not being a great leader at work, if you're not able to, mentor other people to become better leaders, if you are not a great example of what leadership is, then you are also affecting other people who are
Yep.
coming behind you. Or
True.
then, they do not even have a representation of what leadership should be. So
Okay.
it's a responsibility for each and every one of us. And I always say that leadership starts from a place of self. So we
Yeah.
all have to step into that place of responsibility. We all have to step into that place of duty, knowing
Okay.
that there's a responsibility on each and every one of us to rise from wherever we are within the
All right.
construct of the society and
Okay
start
then.
building.
Well, thank you very much, Kemi, I must say, because that's very interesting. Now we know. And too bad we don't have too much time, but let me first of all commend you on your background there. It's very bright and very, very scholarly, let me say. We look forward to having you back on the show again when we discuss something very interesting. Hey, we've got more for you if you're watching out there. Do stay tuned. We're going to go on a very, very short break now, and when we get back, I believe all that goodness in the kitchen is going to find its way down my stomach.